like Americans always do, the nation will come together to help you rebuild your homes, businesses, and communities stronger and more resilient.
Ivanka Trump has always been a figure of intrigue in American politics, straddling the line between loyal daughter and independent public figure. Her recent revelation about her father, Donald Trump, and his 2024 presidential campaign sent shockwaves through the political landscape. In a rare moment of candor, she addressed the key to her father's political strategy against Kamala Harris, outlining what could be a defining narrative for the upcoming election. This unexpected disclosure not only underscored the complexities of Donald Trump's political persona, but also hinted at the tactical maneuvering that might shape the Republican Party's approach in the months to come. Before we start, smash the like and subscribe buttons for more updates. The admission came during a moment of reflection as Ivanka offered insights into her father's resilience and his ability to galvanize support from a fiercely loyal base. For years, Donald Trump has been a divisive figure, celebrated and vilified in equal measure. His charisma, ability to control narratives, and relentless energy have been hallmarks of his political identity. According to Ivanka, these traits are not accidental but deeply ingrained in his personality and strategy. She illuminated how these qualities could potentially be weaponized against Kamala Harris, painting a vivid picture of a contest that could dominate headlines and public discourse. Ivanka's remarks did not shy away from the complexities of her father's political journey. She addressed the polarizing nature of his leadership, pointing out how it has often created an us versus them dynamic in the national conversation. Her admission was not just an acknowledgement of his strengths, but also a reflection on his vulnerabilities. This balanced perspective added a layer of authenticity to her comments, allowing observers to see beyond the usual partisan rhetoric. She emphasized that understanding these dynamics would be critical for her father's campaign to connect with voters in a meaningful way. The key to Donald Trump's strategy, as Ivanka revealed, lies in reframing the narrative surrounding his political brand. This is not merely about countering Kamala Harris's policies or personality, but about reasserting his identity as a disruptor and a champion for a specific vision of America. Ivanka acknowledged that the upcoming election would not be a simple rerun of 2020. The political climate has shifted, and with Kamala Harris positioned as a potential Democratic frontrunner, the dynamics of the race will be fundamentally different. Ivanka highlighted how Kamala Harris represents a new kind of challenge. As a woman of color and a historic figure in her own right, Harris embodies a progressive vision of leadership that contrasts sharply with Donald Trump's populist appeal. Ivanka's analysis suggested that her father's campaign would need to navigate this contrast carefully, leveraging his outsider persona while addressing the aspirations and anxieties of a diversifying electorate. This delicate balancing act could define the Republican strategy as it seeks to reclaim the White House. One of the most striking elements of Ivanka's revelation was her focus on authenticity. She argued that her father's ability to resonate with voters comes from his unapologetic approach to politics. This raw and unfiltered style, which has often been criticized as divisive or inflammatory, is also a source of his appeal. Ivanka emphasized that doubling down on this authenticity, rather than trying to soften his image, could be the key to winning over voters who feel disenchanted with establishment politics. Another critical aspect of Ivanka's commentary was her insight into Kamala Harris's perceived vulnerabilities. While Harris has been celebrated for her trailblazing role as vice president, her tenure has not been without challenges. Ivanka pointed out that Harris's approval ratings and her handling of key issues could be areas for scrutiny in a high-stakes campaign. By highlighting these challenges, Ivanka hinted at how her father's campaign might frame the Democratic contender as out of touch or ineffective, positioning Donald Trump as a more capable alternative. Ivanka's remarks also touched on the importance of grassroots mobilization. She described how her father's ability to connect with ordinary Americans through rallies, social media, and direct communication has been a cornerstone of his political success. In contrast, Kamala Harris's campaign will likely focus on a more traditional approach, leveraging the Democratic Party's organizational strength. Ivanka suggested that a clash between these two styles could be a defining feature of the 2024 election, with Donald Trump's campaign aiming to energize his base while reaching out to undecided voters. The implications of Ivanka's insights extend beyond the immediate context of the 2024 election. Her analysis underscores the evolving nature of American politics, where personalities often overshadow policies and narrative control can determine the outcome of an election. By acknowledging the strengths and weaknesses of both her father and Kamala Harris, Ivanka painted a picture of a deeply competitive and unpredictable race. Her candid assessment also highlighted the stakes involved, not just for the candidates, but for the broader direction of the country. Ivanka's admission also shed light on the psychological dynamics at play in her father's campaign. She spoke about his unrelenting drive, his ability to bounce back from setbacks, and his knack for turning adversity into opportunity. These traits, she argued, would be critical in countering Kamala Harris's historic candidacy and the broader Democratic narrative. By framing her father as a fighter who refuses to back down, Ivanka aimed to reinforce his image as a leader who embodies resilience and determination. The revelation also raised questions about Ivanka's own role in the upcoming campaign. As a prominent figure in her father's previous administrations, she has often been seen as a bridge between his polarizing rhetoric and a more polished diplomatic approach. Her willingness to speak candidly about her father's strengths and weaknesses suggests that she could play a significant role in shaping his campaign strategy, offering a nuanced perspective that complements his more bombastic style. Ivanka's comments also highlighted the broader cultural and ideological battles that are likely to define the 2024 election. Her father's campaign, she suggested, would focus on issues such as economic revitalization, border security, and national sovereignty, contrasting these with the Democratic Party's emphasis on social justice, climate change, and healthcare reform. This ideological clash reflects the deep divisions within American society, with the election serving as a referendum on competing visions for the country's future. The stakes of this confrontation are further heightened by the global context. Ivanka alluded to how her father's approach to foreign policy, trade, and national security could be positioned as a stark alternative to the Democratic vision. By emphasizing his track record and framing Kamala Harris as inexperienced or overly cautious on the world stage, Donald Trump's campaign could aim to appeal to voters who prioritize strength and assertiveness in international affairs. Ivanka's revelations also underscored the importance of media strategy in modern politics. She acknowledged that her father's ability to dominate the media landscape, whether through controversy or charisma, has been a defining feature of his career. By contrast, Kamala Harris's approach to media engagement has been more measured and traditional. This divergence in style could create opportunities for Donald Trump to seize the narrative and set the terms of the debate, particularly in a hyperpolarized media environment. The personal stakes for Ivanka herself cannot be ignored. Her public support for her father, combined with her nuanced understanding of his strengths and weaknesses, positions her as a key figure in the campaign. At the same time, her remarks reflect a broader awareness of the shifting dynamics within the Republican Party. As the party grapples with its identity in a post-Trump era, Ivanka's insights suggest that she could play a role in shaping its future direction, regardless of the outcome of the 2024 election. The unfolding narrative surrounding Ivanka Trump's recent revelations about her father's political strategy not only delves into the mechanics of the 2024 presidential election, but also underscores broader themes about family dynamics, loyalty, and the psychological intricacies of leadership. As the political machinery accelerates toward what promises to be one of the most contentious elections in modern history, Ivanka's insights provide a new dimension to the analysis of Donald Trump's campaign and its implications for the Republican Party's future. Ivanka's statement reflects a level of maturity and strategic thinking that has often been ascribed to her role as one of Donald Trump's closest confidants. Beyond the surface of her analysis lies an intricate understanding of the interplay between public perception and political strategy. By revealing the essential elements of her father's approach, she inadvertently shifts the focus to the multifaceted challenges of campaigning against Kamala Harris, a figure who represents a markedly different political ethos and demographic appeal. A critical aspect of Ivanka's admission revolves around the way Donald Trump's campaign intends to reshape the Republican Party's narrative. The focus is no longer just on consolidating the traditional conservative base, but also on expanding its appeal to a broader audience. This involves addressing some of the key criticisms that have plagued the Trump administration, from accusations of divisiveness to concerns about the erosion of democratic norms. By reframing these narratives, Ivanka suggests, the campaign seeks to position Donald Trump as a transformative leader who can deliver tangible results in a way that resonates with both his base and undecided voters. One notable implication of Ivanka's perspective is the growing importance of generational appeal in the 2024 election. Kamala Harris represents a progressive shift within the Democratic Party, appealing to younger voters and historically marginalized communities. In contrast, Donald Trump's campaign must grapple with the challenge of bridging the generational divide while maintaining the loyalty of his core supporters. Ivanka's remarks imply that the strategy will involve a careful balancing act, acknowledging the priorities of younger voters, such as climate change and student loan reform, without alienating the older, more traditional segments of the electorate. Another layer of complexity in Ivanka's analysis is the role of identity politics in shaping the election narrative. While Kamala Harris's historic position as the first female vice president of color brings an undeniable symbolic power to her campaign, it also places her under intense scrutiny. Ivanka's comments suggest that Donald Trump's campaign might focus on substantive critiques of Harris's policy record, aiming to shift the discourse away from identity and toward competency and governance. This approach underscores a broader Republican strategy of appealing to voters who feel alienated by what they perceive as the excesses of identity-driven politics. Ivanka's insights also highlight the evolving nature of campaign financing and resource allocation. With the increasing influence of digital platforms and data-driven strategies, traditional campaign models are being redefined. Ivanka hinted at her father's reliance on unconventional methods, including leveraging his extensive social media following and bypassing mainstream media channels to communicate directly with voters. This tactic could prove particularly effective against Kamala Harris, whose campaign might rely more heavily on institutional support and traditional media engagement. One of the more intriguing aspects of Ivanka's revelations is the psychological profile she attributes to her father. Describing him as someone who thrives under pressure and revels in the adversarial nature of politics, Ivanka paints a picture of a leader who sees challenges as opportunities. This mindset, she suggests, is central to his strategy for countering Kamala Harris's appeal. By framing himself as a fighter who embodies the spirit of resilience and determination, Donald Trump aims to draw a stark contrast with Harris, whose leadership style might be portrayed as cautious or overly calculated. The interplay between charisma and policy competence is another theme that emerges from Ivanka's analysis. While Donald Trump's personality-driven approach has been a defining feature of his political career, Kamala Harris's campaign is likely to emphasize her policy expertise and legislative experience. This dichotomy presents both opportunities and risks for Donald Trump's campaign. On one hand, his larger-than-life persona could overshadow Harris's more subdued style. But on the other hand, it risks alienating voters who prioritize substance over spectacle. Ivanka's remarks suggest that her father's campaign is acutely aware of this tension and is crafting a strategy to navigate it effectively. Ivanka's admission also sheds light on the role of coalition building in the upcoming election. With the Republican Party still grappling with internal divisions, from the influence of Trump loyalists to the resurgence of traditional conservatives, the ability to unify disparate factions will be critical. Ivanka's remarks suggest that her father's campaign will focus on rallying the base while simultaneously reaching out to independents and moderate Democrats disillusioned with the current administration. This dual approach underscores the high stakes of coalition politics in a polarized electorate. The implications of Ivanka's insights extend to the realm of foreign policy, an area where Donald Trump's unorthodox approach has both alienated and energized voters. Ivanka alluded to the potential for her father's campaign to emphasize his record on issues such as trade, military strength, and relations with adversarial nations. By contrast, Kamala Harris's lack of extensive foreign policy experience could be framed as a liability, particularly in a geopolitical landscape defined by rising tensions with powers like China and Russia. Ivanka's comments suggest that this angle could be a key component of the Republican narrative. Ivanka's remarks also touch on the role of social and cultural issues in shaping the election discourse. From debates over education and parental rights to discussions about gender equality and reproductive rights, the 2024 election is poised to be a battleground for competing visions of America's cultural identity. Ivanka implied that her father's campaign would seek to position him as a defender of traditional values while addressing the concerns of voters who feel left behind by rapid societal changes. This strategy reflects the broader ideological divide that has come to define American politics in recent years. The significance of Ivanka's insights lies not only in their immediate relevance to the 2024 election, but also in their broader implications for the Republican Party's future. Her comments suggest a recognition of the need for evolution within the party, from embracing new forms of communication to addressing the concerns of an increasingly diverse electorate. This acknowledgement of change, juxtaposed with her father's unyielding commitment to his core principles, highlights the tensions and opportunities inherent in the party's trajectory. Ivanka's reflections also invite speculation about her own political aspirations. While she has consistently downplayed the possibility of running for office, her deep involvement in her father's campaigns and her nuanced understanding of political strategy suggests that she could play a pivotal role in shaping the Republican Party's future. Her ability to articulate a vision that bridges the gap between traditional conservatism and modern sensibilities positions her as a potential leader in her own right, should she choose to step into the political arena. Beyond the immediate context of the 2024 election, Ivanka's remarks underscore the broader societal dynamics at play. From the rise of populism and the erosion of trust in institutions, to the growing influence of social media and the reshaping of cultural norms, the themes she touched on reflect the profound changes shaping American society. Her analysis serves as a reminder that elections are not just contests of personalities and policies, but also reflections of deeper societal shifts. As the race between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris takes shape, the insights offered by Ivanka Trump provide a valuable lens through which to understand the complexities of the contest. Her candid assessment of the challenges and opportunities facing her father's campaign highlights the intricate dynamics that will define the 2024 election. More importantly, it underscores the broader stakes involved, from the future of the Republican Party to the evolving nature of American democracy. The conversation around Ivanka's revelations is far from over. As the election approaches and the political landscape continues to evolve, her insights will likely serve as a reference point for understanding the strategies and narratives that define this historic contest. In the meantime, the nation watches as two vastly different visions for America prepare to collide in a battle for the soul of the country. Ivanka Trump's revelations about her father, Donald Trump, and the strategic approach for the 2024 presidential election open a portal into the complexities of modern political warfare, the cultural and ideological shifts in American society, and the role of individual personas in shaping national narratives. Each layer of her commentary reveals deeper dimensions of both her father's political identity and the broader context within which the election will unfold. As the political landscape shifts toward a high-stakes confrontation between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, Ivanka's analysis provides a critical framework for understanding the dynamics of political branding. In her description, Trump's campaign appears poised to construct a narrative centered on resilience, leadership under pressure, and an unrelenting commitment to disrupting the status quo. This strategy, she implies, is as much about psychological fortitude as it is about policy substance, aiming to appeal to voters who feel disenfranchised or skeptical of conventional political systems. A key theme emerging from Ivanka's revelations is the recalibration of Donald Trump's image to resonate with evolving voter demographics. The 2016 and 2020 elections saw Trump leveraging his status as an outsider to attract voters disillusioned by decades of political stagnation. For 2024, Ivanka hints at a nuanced evolution of this persona, with an emphasis on bridging gaps between traditional Republican values and the concerns of a more diverse electorate. This involves not only addressing the anxieties of rural, blue-collar workers who have been a cornerstone of Trump's base, but also appealing to suburban and minority voters who represent a growing share of the electorate. One particularly insightful element of Ivanka's commentary is her focus on the role of trust and authenticity in modern campaigns. Donald Trump's brash, unfiltered style has often been criticized as polarizing, but Ivanka frames it as a source of authenticity that distinguishes him from his competitors. In contrast, Kamala Harris's more measured and conventional approach might appeal to voters who value stability and predictability, but could struggle to generate the same level of passionate engagement. Ivanka's remarks suggest that the campaign will aim to amplify this contrast, presenting Trump as a leader who, while controversial, remains deeply connected to the pulse of the American public. Ivanka's analysis also delves into the ideological undercurrents that will shape the election. Kamala Harris represents a progressive vision that prioritizes social justice, environmental sustainability, and inclusive governance. In contrast, Ivanka portrays her father's approach as rooted in pragmatic nationalism, emphasizing economic growth, national security, and individual freedom. This ideological clash reflects a broader cultural divide that has become increasingly pronounced in recent years, with voters grappling with competing visions of what America should represent on the global stage and within its own borders. Another fascinating aspect of Ivanka's revelations is her exploration of the emotional and symbolic power of leadership. She underscores how her father's persona as a fighter who refuses to back down resonates with voters who see themselves as facing similar struggles in their own lives. This emotional connection, she argues, is a critical component of his political success. By contrast, Kamala Harris's leadership style might be framed as aspirational, but less grounded in the lived realities of everyday Americans. This dichotomy sets the stage for a campaign that will be as much about emotional resonance as it is about policy proposals. Ivanka's insights also highlight the growing importance of digital platforms in shaping election outcomes. Her father's mastery of social media and his ability to command attention in the digital space have been pivotal in previous campaigns. Ivanka hints at a continuation and expansion of this strategy, leveraging emerging technologies and data analytics to engage voters in innovative ways. In contrast, Kamala Harris's campaign may rely more heavily on traditional media and institutional networks, creating a potential battleground over who can more effectively harness the power of modern communication tools. One particularly thought-provoking dimension of Ivanka's analysis is her emphasis on the personal stakes involved in the election. For Donald Trump, the 2024 race represents an opportunity to reclaim the presidency and solidify his legacy as one of the most influential and controversial figures in American political history. For Kamala Harris, it is a chance to break new ground as the first female president of color, representing a transformative moment in the nation's history. Ivanka's commentary suggests that the interplay of these personal narratives will be a defining feature of the election, influencing both the tone of the campaign and the way voters perceive the candidates. Ivanka's remarks also invite speculation about the role of alliances and endorsements in shaping the election. The Republican Party's internal dynamics, from the influence of Trump loyalists to the resurgence of traditional conservatives, will play a critical role in determining the campaign's trajectory. Similarly, Kamala Harris will need to navigate her own party's diverse coalition, balancing the demands of progressives, centrists, and establishment figures. Ivanka's analysis highlights the importance of coalition building and strategic alliances in a polarized political landscape where no single faction can secure victory on its own. A less explored but equally significant aspect of Ivanka's revelations is the role of economic messaging in the campaign. She emphasizes her father's focus on issues such as job creation, tax reform, and deregulation as key pillars of his platform. These themes, she argues, are designed to appeal to voters who prioritize economic security and individual prosperity. In contrast, Kamala Harris's emphasis on social programs and climate initiatives might resonate with voters who prioritize long-term sustainability, but could face criticism for lacking immediate economic impact. Ivanka's analysis suggests that the contrast between these approaches will be a central point of contention in the campaign. Ivanka's commentary also sheds light on the broader cultural and symbolic stakes of the election. The contest between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris is not just a battle for political power, but a reflection of deeper societal divisions over identity, values, and the role of government. Ivanka's insights underscore the importance of understanding these cultural dynamics in crafting an effective campaign strategy, as voters increasingly look to candidates who can articulate a vision that resonates with their own sense of identity and purpose. One intriguing aspect of Ivanka's remarks is her focus on the importance of narrative control in modern politics. She describes how her father's ability to dominate the media landscape, whether through controversy or charisma, has been a defining feature of his career. This contrasts with Kamala Harris's more traditional approach to media engagement, which prioritizes disciplined messaging and careful image management. Ivanka suggests that this divergence in style could create opportunities for Donald Trump to set the terms of the debate, positioning himself as a dynamic and unpredictable force in contrast to Harris's more measured persona. Another dimension of Ivanka's analysis is her exploration of the psychological dynamics of voter behavior. She highlights how her father's campaign aims to tap into voters' emotions, fears, and aspirations, creating a sense of personal connection that transcends policy details. This emotional appeal, she argues, is a key factor in building loyalty and mobilizing support. By contrast, Kamala Harris's campaign may focus more on rational arguments and policy proposals, appealing to voters who prioritize competency and stability. Ivanka's insights suggest that understanding these psychological dynamics will be critical in determining the election's outcome. Ivanka's reflections also emphasize the role of adaptability and resilience in successful campaigns. She describes how her father has consistently demonstrated an ability to pivot in response to changing circumstances, turning setbacks into opportunities and leveraging challenges to strengthen his position. This adaptability, she suggests, will be a key advantage in a campaign that is likely to be defined by unpredictable events and shifting voter priorities. In contrast, Kamala Harris's campaign will need to demonstrate its own capacity for resilience and flexibility, particularly in responding to attacks and controversies. The global implications of the 2024 election also feature prominently in Ivanka's analysis. She highlights how her father's approach to foreign policy, trade, and national security will be positioned as a stark alternative to the Democratic vision. By emphasizing his record of assertiveness and his willingness to challenge conventional norms, the campaign aims to appeal to voters who prioritize strength and leadership on the world stage. In contrast, Kamala Harris's approach, which is likely to emphasize multilateralism and diplomatic engagement, could be framed as overly cautious or ineffective. Ivanka's insights also reveal the intricate dynamics of family involvement in politics. As one of Donald Trump's most trusted advisors, she occupies a unique position that combines personal loyalty with strategic influence. Her willingness to speak candidly about her father's strengths and weaknesses reflects a deep understanding of the challenges and opportunities facing the campaign. At the same time, her role raises broader questions about the influence of family dynamics in shaping political decision-making and public perceptions. In the broader context of American democracy, Ivanka's revelations underscore the high stakes of the 2024 election. The contest between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris is not just a battle between two individuals, but a referendum on the nation's values, priorities, and future direction. Ivanka's analysis highlights the importance of understanding these deeper dynamics in crafting an effective campaign strategy and engaging voters in a meaningful way. As the election approaches, the insights offered by Ivanka Trump provide a valuable lens through which to understand the complexities of the contest. Her candid assessment of the challenges and opportunities facing her father's campaign underscores the intricate dynamics that will define the race. More importantly, it serves as a reminder of the broader stakes involved, from the future of the Republican Party to the evolving nature of American democracy. In this high-stakes contest, the interplay of personalities, policies, and cultural narratives will shape not only the outcome of the election, but also the trajectory of the nation in the years to come. The 2024 presidential election is shaping up to be a critical juncture in American history, with Ivanka Trump's revelations providing a unique vantage point into the campaign's intricacies. She emphasizes a future-focused approach that goes beyond immediate political gains, targeting the reshaping of Donald Trump's public image to appeal to a broader, more diverse electorate. Her insights highlight the necessity of innovation in messaging, with the campaign likely to pioneer new methods for engaging with a polarized and digitally savvy electorate. One area Ivanka touches on subtly but significantly is the reinvention of campaign events. Traditional rallies will likely evolve into immersive experiences, blending digital technology with on-the-ground engagement to maintain the fervor of Trump's base while attracting younger, undecided voters. By combining spectacle with substance, the campaign could position itself as a forward-looking movement. If you liked this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Also, leave your comments below and tell us, what are your thoughts on Ivanka Trump's shocking admission about Donald Trump? We want to hear from you. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.